Welcome back. So we're going to move away from solving polynomials into learning the different methods there are to dividing them. So there's two methods to dividing polynomials. This first one you experienced back in the ninth grade called long division. So I want you to recall for long division, you take what you're dividing by, put that on the outside, and what's being divided goes on the inside. So the first step is getting the setup. Now, we are going to try to cancel this term by term. Now, what I mean is I need to take this x, I need to multiply it by something that will let it get rid of 2x squared. Well, what can I multiply by that'll get rid of the x squared? Well, I can multiply by x, okay, because x times x is x squared. But I can't just multiply the x. I need to multiply the whole x plus 3. That's going to give me x squared plus 3x. So once I've calculated that, I bring that over here, and now I'm going to subtract it off to see how close am I getting to the polynomial. Well, this should always cancel, okay? Again, the point is you're canceling term by term. 9x minus 3x is 6x. And now you pull down the next term. Well, I need to do the same thing again. So now I need to take that same x. This time I wanted to cancel 6x. So what can I multiply x by to get 6x? Well, the answer is 6. Actually, positive 6. So, but again, I can't just multiply the x by 6. I have to multiply the whole thing by 6. And I get 6x plus 18. So I'm going to write that down here. And I'm going to subtract it off. I want to see how close am I getting. Well, 6x minus 6x is gone. 18 minus 18 is gone. So I'm left with nothing. Well, I have nothing more to pull down. So what that means is I have a solution that has no remainder. And what is my solution? Well, my solution is that x plus 6. That's what I get when I divide those two. So that's the basic setup to this long division. Now let's take a look at an example that has a remainder. So it starts the same way. I take what I'm dividing by, put it on the outside. Then I take what's being divided and I put it inside. And now I start my cycle. So I need to see what can I multiply this x by to cancel x squared. Well, x times x is x squared. So I'm going to take that x and I'm going to multiply that whole thing by it. That's going to give me x squared minus 8x. So x squared minus 8x. And I want to subtract it off to see how close I'm getting. Well, x squared minus x squared, that part should always cancel off. Okay? Now, here, negative 7x minus a negative 8x. Well, I hope you remember, when you're subtracting a negative, that's really the same thing as adding. So really what we have there is negative 7 plus 8. Again, subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding. So I hope you can see that that is a positive 1x. Okay, negative 7 plus 8 is a positive 1. And if you need to double check using a calculator, that is totally okay. And then I'm going to pull down that negative 11. Well, I need to do it again now. So I have to take this x and multiply it by something that will cancel x. Well, how can x cancel x? Well, it doesn't even have to change. So if I just multiply it by positive 1, then that is actually as close as I can get. So I take x minus 8 and I subtract off to see how close I can get. Well, x minus x cancels off just like I wanted it to. Negative 11 minus negative 8. Well, that's going to be negative 11 plus 8. Minusing a negative is the same as adding. And that is going to end up giving me a negative 3. So I want you to notice this time I'm done with my problem because I have nothing else I can pull down, but I'm not left with 0. So what that negative 3 is, that negative 3 is the remainder that goes on to the end of the problem. When I have a remainder, I put it over whatever I was dividing by because that's the piece that's left over that can't be removed from that fraction. Okay, so again, that's your strategy whenever you have a remainder. Leave it over whatever number you are dividing by. All right, let's do one more example. So I have 2x plus 3, and I'm dividing 2x squared minus 17x minus 38 by it. All right, so I'm going to start exactly the same way. I need to see what can I multiply 2x by to cancel 2x squared. Well, the 2 will already cancel the 2, but I need to multiply by an x so that 2x can become a 2x squared. But again, I can't just multiply the 2x by it. I need to multiply the whole thing by it. That's going to give me 2x squared plus 3x. So that's what I need to write over here. 2x squared plus 3x. Remember, you always subtract it off. You want to see how close you're getting. The first thing should always cancel. 2x squared minus 2x squared is gone, is done. Now, negative 17x minus 3x. Well, negative 17 minus 3 more is going to give you a negative 20. So I'm going to have a negative 20x. Then I pull down my negative 38. And I'm going to play this game again. So I need to figure out what can I multiply 2x by to cancel a negative 20x. Well, the x is already set, okay? But in order for 2 to cancel negative 20, I need to multiply by negative 10. So I take that negative 10 and I multiply the whole thing by it. So I distribute that through, so I get negative 20x minus 30. Right? Now I take that and I'm going to write this underneath it. So negative 20x minus 30. And I'm going to subtract it off. Well, negative 20 minus a negative 20. So again, a double negative means you're adding. So negative 20 plus 20, that cancels off just like we wanted it to. Negative 38 minus negative 30. So again, a double negative means you're adding. So really think of that as negative 38 plus 30. So you're still going to have a negative 8 there. And again, feel free, please use your calculator to help you with those if you're getting stuck, if you're getting confused at all. I have nothing else to pull down, which means that negative 8 that I'm left with, it means that that is my remainder. My remainder stays over whatever we were dividing by, and then this becomes my answer. That is what I get when I divide those two polynomials. All right, thank you for bearing through this with me. Now, it is very important. Please make sure you have all this written down. and then use it. Have it sitting out as you're doing your practice work to help you along.